Hi guys, it's Nick with another haul video. This is from Sunday. I'm going to have to break this into two, I think, because yeah, it's just going to take too long otherwise. And I thought I'd do this one where it's all games and media and that sort of stuff. So I will start with what I think is a bit of a fail. I found some Super Nintendo stuff. I'm a huge Super Nintendo fan. That's my favourite console of all time. And I'm a sucker for anything Super Nintendo. Hardly ever find it. And when I do, I think I get swept up in the kind of nostalgia and emotion of it, rather than making it a business decision. Anyway, this guy had some Japanese import games. This was the one that caught my eye. He did have other stuff as well, but I bought pretty much all the Snes stuff that he had. This is, it does say on it somewhere there in blue, Parodius. I had this game. I imported it from Japan. I had this very same cart. Well, not this one, but you know what I mean. Back in '92, I believe it was. I paid a lot of money for this and had it imported from Japan. So I think nostalgia took over and I really wanted to buy it. It's a parody on Gradius, the classic sideways scroller, hence Parodius. Bonkers game. You're like a little pink octopus in the game. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Brilliant game. Anyway, he had that and I grabbed it. He also had this, which looks way better than it is. This is Dragon Quest 6 Super Nintendo, boxed complete. It's got its manual and inserts in there. Yeah, looks like it would be something that would be worth a load of money. Trouble is with these Dragon Quest games, I think they were sold in such massive numbers in Japan. Quite a lot made it over here, so it's fairly common. But anyway, I'll quickly show you what else I got. There's this, which is an Ultraman game with manual but no box. Romancing Saga. I've actually had this on import before and I struggled to sell it then. This was about, well, it's a few years ago. So I should have known really, but there's that one. I think that is missing the manual, unfortunately. Again, this looks like something that would have a lot of value, but it really doesn't. And then a few kind of bog standard things that aren't really worth anything. This is a chess game. Look at that guy. So yeah, Tomy chess game. This is Thoroughbred Racer. Again, all Japanese imports. And Tecmo Super Basketball. I paid £25 for the lot. And I think that's about what they're worth. I might get 15 on Parodius. I might get a tenner on the Dragon Quest. So yeah, if I can get that, if I can sell those for that, whatever I can get on the rest of it is a bonus. So maybe I will make a little bit on it. Perhaps I could sell that bundle for 20 if I'm lucky. But yeah, I mean, have a look into it. Jap import Super Nintendo stuff does not hold as much value as you might think. If these were UK versions, I don't think all, if many at all, were actually issued in the UK. But UK stuff is actually worth more. But anyway, I was, yeah, buying with my heart rather than my head there, so not great. I picked up one of these little official Nintendo LCD keyrings. Haven't had one for a while, don't know what they go for, but that was quite nice. That was 50p. Picked up some Wii games. Again, these are not great. I only grabbed them because they were 50p and they've got really, really nice cases. And they're in brilliant condition, but there's no great titles there at all. Buster Moo is actually a good game, but I don't think it holds any value. But at 50p each, I'll have a go basically. I might send these into FBA if there's any value in them up there. Right, these were a good find. I managed to get these at £1.50 each, and then I bundled them in with some other bits and bobs and got some discounts, so probably worked out just over £1 each. These are PlayStation Move controllers. You've probably seen me talking about these recently. I've got a bit of a heat going on of these, and I'm holding out for a while, see if prices go up, because they're going to be compatible with the new PS4 VR. So yeah, that was a nice find. This was probably one of the finds of the day, really. It's an Apple Care protection plan. It's still sealed, and there are different ones of these. They have different serial numbers on, and you'd need to look up that to find out what it's for and how valuable it is. Yeah, I paid £2 on a kind of a whim, really. I didn't really know what it was or if it had any value. I've looked into it. I'm hoping to get about 40 or 50 back. So yeah, they're worth looking out for. So that was that. Right, I got to, let me try and do this. I've got an absolute mountain of PS1. Well, let me grab it first, hold on. Okay, right, I got to a stall and there was a guy there before me, and he had a load of PS1 games in his hand, and he was looking through. And as I got there to the stall, obviously that had piqued my interest. As I got there, he had rummaged through and pulled out this, which is Oddworld. And he stood there with it in his hand, and I thought, oh, damn it, because that's a pretty decent title. But then he looked at it for a while. He also had a Tomb Raider in his hand, Tomb Raider 2, and then he put them down. And he turned and went, and I quickly picked them up. Then asked the next question, which was how much are they, and they said they were £1 each, and they had loads. I started looking through and I picked out another couple that were pretty good. Jurassic Park Warpath, the case is smashed to bits on this. Tomb Raider, the first one, again smashed case unfortunately. And then I realised they had loads. There was another pile of them at the back of the stall, some laid out on their sides, and they had this many. So I said to them, this was right at the end of the day. I was really surprised that Oddworld was still there. People were almost starting to pack up. It was that sort of time. So I said to the guy, look, if you could do them at 50p each, I'd buy the lot. Because most of them, I know I just showed you a couple with smashed cases, but the vast majority have got really nice cases that aren't scratched. So they're worth that to me anyway. And he said, yeah, that's fine. So then we got them all together, and then I just made him a cheeky offer of 10 of the lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 30. I made him an offer of a tenner and he just accepted it. So I got the whole lot for £10. And from a different stall, I got these 5 for £2. Just for the cases. There's no decent titles there. So yeah, I did well. So there's those 2 Tomb Raiders, which are okay. The Jurassic Park, which is good, and this Oddworld, which should pay for the whole stack. And then a load of other stuff. There's a few. Most of the titles are just the stuff that you see all the time that isn't worth anything. But this here, it's a rental case, but it's quite an interesting game. Not one I've seen before. Destrager. So I think that may have some value. The rest of it, you've got your actual golf, worms, you know, bog standard stuff. But still nice to find it. And like I say, most of them are in decent cases. There's also a couple at the bottom here that are old Blockbusters rental ones. Don't even know if I've looked in yet. That's Moho, which isn't worth anything, and Theme Park World. So yeah, there was that. And then on the same stall, he had a load of Xbox games. And one caught my eye, which was GTA San Andreas. This used to have more value. I did briefly look it up. I need to look into it a bit further. But for a while that had some pretty good value on Xbox. I think it's come down now. It's got its map and its manual, and the disc is in excellent condition. So I noticed that and picked it up. And then without me even asking about prices, the guy, unprompted, just said you can have the lot for £3. So I didn't even look any further. I didn't even question it. And got this stack. But I don't think there's much in here that will have much value at all on its own. Suffering maybe, not sure. So yeah. I've since been through and had a look. They're all in excellent condition. Every single one has its manual. Discs are fantastic condition. So yeah, bit of a no-brainer really. That's those. Right, what else have we got? Nintendogs for 50p. These were quite interesting. Stall right at the end of the day this was. She said an annoying thing as well, not annoying but a little bit frustrating. I went up to a stall, she had some PS2 stuff and I asked her how much they were. She said they were 50p. And I found this, which is nothing exciting on its own, but it's sealed with its Sony strip. It's come away a little bit here, and frustratingly, the disc is rattling around, so yeah, annoying as hell. But sealed stuff, any sealed gaming stuff, can be worth a premium because the collectors want it. So I've got a Platinum SmackDown 2006, sealed with its little Sony pull strip on there. And Football Generation, again sealed. I mean, this title really has no value, but maybe because it's sealed it will do. I may just put these away for a while and let them increase in value, don't know. She also had a San Andreas, a Simpsons Hit and Run, a Destroy All Humans. I think all of these were in pretty good nick as well. Yeah, really nice, clean condition. Oh, and that Sims 4 was bundled in with all that Xbox stuff I got at the other store. So that was that. Another store, the first boot sale I went to 4 on the Sunday. At the first one I went to, I bought a load of toys and bits and bobs, a few book box sets, and I got a deal on these. These are all audiobooks, and some of them I think are just music. Yeah, there's some Disney music CDs which I find do quite well on Amazon, and then there's some audiobooks. I scanned a couple while I was there and some of them had pretty good value. This I think was going for good money. That's Charlie and Lola. And then you've got things like Little Mermaid. Don't know if that's a soundtrack or a story. Oh, it's a story. So that's an audiobook. This sort of thing does pretty well. And then there's a load of the Rainbow Magic audiobooks. Like that. And some of the Felicity Wishes ones, which I don't think have any real value, but I'll bundle these up. So there was those, and by the time I got a big bundle together of all this stuff, I wasn't paying much on these. They probably owe me a couple of pounds for those. Oh, and another one. And then, not much of any particular interest in here, but I bought a few DVDs. This was nice. Rodgers and Hammerstein musical set, 6 DVD box. Paid £3 on that. That I think I scanned into Amazon. Had pretty good value on there. Another Max and Paddy. I've got a couple of these kicking around. I think there's one here somewhere here. These are still holding their value from the whole what's his name, Peter Kay thing that was going on a while back. I've sent a few of these into Amazon recently and they've sold really quick, so I expect that's what I'll do with those. And then I got to a stall. This was the last boot sale I went to. As it was drawing to a close, I went around one more time. There was a guy with loads of DVDs and he just said everything is now 50p, and I just picked out some box sets. Most of what he had was common feature films that have no real value, but I just picked up some box sets and took a chance on them. There's this Robocop trilogy, which really isn't worth much, if anything. 80s Brat Pack collection, looks like it does well on Amazon, so that will be sent in. It's quite good value on there. South Park 6th season and 5th season. Don't think there's a great deal of value in these, but at 50p, I was happy to give it a go. This one was quite good on FBA, Flight of the Conchords, series 1 and 2. Yeah, seasons 1 and 2. And Indiana Jones The Adventure Collection, which for 50p is just madness. I might just hang on to that. That's that one. And then a few other bits and bobs. A nice sealed Alan Partridge, sealed Disney, and then the usual suspects. Most of these were 50p or less. I think I might have paid £1 on the Cars. All different Disney titles. So that's that. And I think that's about it for the media. So there you go. And I need to say hello to a lady that I bumped into called Debra. Now, I think it's Debra anyway. I bumped into her. She's a subscriber of mine on YouTube. I was walking along and I heard this voice from behind me say, "Nick." And I turned around, there's this lovely smiley lady who explained that she watches me on here and she started reselling, is really enjoying it. And then we took a selfie together because she wanted to show her husband that she'd met me. So lovely to meet you, Debra. I really hope that is your name now. I said to her at the time, I'm going to forget your name, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. Please give it a thumbs up. There will be part 2 of this, which will have some more interesting stuff. I've got some really cool pickups that, yeah, I can't wait to show you. So anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now. Hello again. I just watched it back and I realised when I was showing you those sealed PS2 games, I said that the lady said something that was a bit frustrating. What that was, when I found the sealed ones, and I said, "Oh, these are sealed," she said, "Yeah, I had loads of sealed ones earlier and some guy bought them all." So God only knows what she had. I managed to get 3. So, yeah, never know. We will never know. There you go. Yeah, I just watched back and saw that I said that she said something frustrating and then didn't tell you what it was. Anyway, cheers guys. Bye for now.